Today we're going to be interviewing the life of an entrepreneur. We're going to be interviewing Jordan Millar, and we have my teammates, myself, Dennis, Daniel, and Connor. At what age did you start your own business?
I was 21 when I started my business. I was in my last year of college, so I was applying for grad programs, internships, and all that kind of thing. And when I wasn't actually getting in them, even though I was doing well outside of that and like extracurriculars, I decided that, look, maybe I'd give it a shot on myself, take a bet on myself, and then decide to start my own company.
What level of education were you at when you started your business?
I was still in college when I was doing it. I was in my last year of university, so I was still an undergraduate, and I was good in skills though. I had a lot of competitions, I had a lot of experience on client projects. I was interested in the field of consulting, so I spent a lot of time in that kind of environment. So I felt like I had strong skill set, but I was still in my undergraduate, still studying.
Were you employed when you decided to start up your own business?
So I'm one of those kind of people who has always worked through college. I've always had to work a part-time job every weekend, every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I would have worked in my local shop, so I was on tills and the supervisor and that kind of thing. So I think having to have worked through college was a really good experience because, number one, the people you come in contact with, the skills you're learning, the idea of taking responsibility and leadership and all these kind of things. So working through college always gave me an experience just to kind of like sharpen up my skill set and even kind of just give myself a chance to build my network and talk to people that I wouldn't have talked to otherwise in my own environment. So yeah, I think working during college was a really, really good experience for me.
And why did you start your business?
So the reason I started my business is kind of twofold. So there's two main things that I would have always adhered to in my life. Number one is the idea of if you want to, there's a way, and if you don't, there's a reason. So it's the idea of that no matter what comes your way, no matter what obstacles or challenges you're facing, there's always something you can do about it. There's always something you can do to overcome those. And if you don't, there's a good reason or an excuse or whatever you can find that you don't have to do it. But if you want to, there's always a way. And if you don't, there is a good reason that you don't want to, right? And then the second thing that I've always kind of adhered to is that this life is just not something you should waste. So it's the idea that if you have a passion or if you have a dream or you have a skill set or ability, you should try to make the most of it for yourself, just out of respect for your own existence and what you're trying to achieve and like who you're trying to become. I think each person has the right to be the author of their own story and to determine what it is they want to achieve. So I've always felt that this was something I wanted to do, and I felt really empowered and confident to do it myself. And I thought that I had the right skill set, I had the right abilities, and I just, every day I wake up doing it, I love it. So I know that it's the thing for me, and that's why I think I made the right choice doing it.
Did you have a team when you were starting your business?
Yeah, so when I started my team, I had two of my closest friends with me. They were people who I saw were able to really help me in my personal life. Like if I was really down, if I was really like kind of spun out about something, they were the kind of people who could get through all that and like remind me of who I was and like what we were trying to achieve. And that if you're trying to achieve greatness, like there's going to be obstacles. It's going to be difficult. It's never going to be easy. As a business person, you wake up and there's about 1,000 things every single day that are trying to stop you from succeeding. So you have to have that attitude again, that if I want to achieve this, there is a way and I have to find it. And those are the kind of people that I tried to keep around me, people who could remind me per se of what it was that I was trying to achieve. And so I realized the value of having strong team members in your corner, having quality friends, and it was also good in that it gave me the idea that I told these people we were going to eat, and I was going to be damn sure I was going to let these people starve on my watch. So for me as a leader and as a boss even, I wanted to make sure that the people who took a bet on me were going to get their payout, you know what I mean? So that's kind of one of the big things as well, like that pressure that comes from a network that I'm the leader here, but these people got to eat, and I got to make sure of that.
Tell us one good thing about and one bad thing about being an entrepreneur.
So I think the best and worst thing about being an entrepreneur is the same thing. It's that full total responsibility. It's that idea of you take all the risk, but you also get all the rewards. So like if you join a company or you're working in a 9-to-5 or whatever, that company might be doing great things, but you're only a small part of that process. Whereas when you're an entrepreneur, you're putting your life on the line every single time, like you're really in it. But every time like something small happens or works or it goes right for you, that success is overwhelming. Like even the small thing of seeing your company name on a business card or having a logo or a brand name, like those little wins that you take for granted become really, really important as an entrepreneur. And it's so valuable to like have that experience where every little thing you're doing is coming back as gratification. Every little thing you're doing is like a step forward that you and your team took, and it's very rewarding in the end. But it's a good and bad thing. It just depends if you can manage risk well, if you can kind of see it through.
Do you think there's any support in young people and becoming an entrepreneur?
I think there's definitely a lot of programs that the government and others like initiatives have put in place. Like you have the Chamber of Commerce, you have different incubator programs. There are a lot of supports that will help like young people and startups and all kinds of businesses like get off the ground and even to help sustain them. But I think there's also a great kind of pressure in that people value the 9-to-5s, people value that's the kind of like system that's in place there. And I've always been the kind of person where I really like to put myself to the test, and I'm not so great at like conforming in within like very particular lines. I like the ability to kind of see what can be achieved or how to push the limits or how to even like achieve more, that kind of way. But I think there's definitely a lot of supports. The infrastructure definitely supports businesses, I think, and we have like one of the lowest corporate tax rates in Europe with 12% as well. So I mean, there's a lot of benefits that way. But at the same time, I think socially there is still a value on that 9 to 5.